Thank you very much, Mr. Marshall, Excellencies, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Let me join on behalf of the Georgian Parliament and Georgian people the statements which we heard here this morning about our concern about the future of Europe, as well as our determination, our commitment to contribute to solving the problems and to building the Europe which accommodates all of our countries, all of our nations, and is the place for everybody. I want to thank once again the organizers of this meeting, the Sejm and the Senate of the Republic of Poland, because this is a very timely event. And all of us came to this conference because of two things, I believe. Two kinds of feelings, the feeling of urgency and feeling of hope. The feeling of urgency comes from the situation we all observe. Although our countries have our individual ways to Europe, to European Union, some of us are integral parts of European Union, others are about to enter there, others are just far away from the entry point, but have a very clear direction to become EU members. Therefore, we have our individual agenda. But during the last few years, some common agenda united our thoughts and our efforts, because we see that Europe is in crisis, and we all need to contribute to solution. And the urgency comes from the fact that these disintegration processes are fueled by emerged problems, which we are already described here during the first session. But the feeling of hope comes from the fact that such an important European player as the Republic of Poland is taking this matter very seriously, and therefore brought forward the initiative to bring together the representatives of the Eastern, Southeastern, Central Eastern, Central Southern, I don't know, it's difficult to describe, but the countries who are here represented during this conference. And this is the hope, that there are countries in Europe who take these issues seriously. Therefore, I want to reassure all of you that Georgia will be among those who will be actively involved in the analysis, in discussions, in intellectual exercises, first of all, to find the best ways, best initiatives. At the same time, we should not forget that time is going, things are happening, and while we are thinking about reforms within the European Union, or while we are thinking about the approach we want to understand Europe outside of borders of European Union, things are happening. Therefore, we should not allow the institutions which are now in the place to become dysfunctional, non-effective. We should make sure that while we are thinking about the reforms, the basic values and basic objectives of European infrastructure, political, security, economic, is working and is functional. Otherwise, we will see even more tragic problems on our continent. When we talk about sovereignty, we need to be careful not to come to isolation. When we talk about solidarity, we should be careful not to come to mutually closed, solidarily closed eyes on the problems when some European countries or our neighboring countries are violating very basic principles of international law and international order. Here we cannot be solidar. Solidarity functions and works only when the parties are equally committed to the values and principles which were basics of and foundations, not only of the Europe, but the common modern world in the 21st century. Of course, in all these things, our parliaments, our national parliaments have a huge role. Why? First of all, when we talk about problems, problems come from politicians as well, and we should not forget that. and the politicians who cause the problems are sitting next to us in our parliaments. So our parliaments must be better serving our people in every single nation, and then probably there will be less problems and there will be more achievements. Unfortunately, we observe the rise of populism in most of the European countries, including our countries, including my country, Georgia. And that's how some not very responsible politicians or political parties understand the politics or leadership. Therefore, national parliaments must be setting higher standards for doing politics, for leading people, and not to follow the trend which we all observe, when there are irresponsible leaders who are just trying to find an angry crowd and just become their leader. That's not leadership. We need leaders who bring ideas to the people, who bring directions to the people, who convince people what is wrong and what is right and what is bad. Therefore, national parliaments, yes, we need to take more responsibility, and we need to make sure that our people understand better what's going on in the world. In that case, we will see less Euroscepticism. We will see less pressure on the politicians when we talk about helping each other, about integrating in different international organizations. Now it is very popular thing to point to the European Union and blame on all possible wrong things on the earth. But the European Union was created by the member states, and member states need to take care of its current problems. And the European Union should not be considered as something, as kind of creature which exists on the earth and political environment by itself. And we who are heading to European Union, we want to see that this process is effective. Of course, we have less voice there. Therefore, it is another, again, very important and timely initiative which our Polish colleagues started now here. And we support the idea to make this kind of gathering permanent, forum, summit, I don't know, again, the name does not matter, but the place where we can come and express our voice. At the same time, I have requests to our Polish friends who are better positioned for this task to involve in this process other EU member countries as well. I believe there are countries in the European Union who share the spirit, what we heard from our colleagues during this morning. In that case, we will become stronger and able to contribute. And last thing about the national parliaments. We need to promote engagement between the parliaments. Georgian parliament has very good experience of working closely with, for example, the Parliament of Sweden. For 2 years, we had very effective program with them, which contributed a lot in raising the necessary institutional tools, which is so important for our parliaments. We have ideas with our Polish colleagues to make year 2017 the year of solidarity between Georgian and Polish parliament, when we will find more links to each other. We can use much better the international platforms, like parliamentary assemblies of the Council of Europe, NATO Parliamentary Assembly and others. Georgia hosted the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly just a month ago, which was a very successful event and which made Georgian people better aware of international affairs. And I believe the member states who were represented on that event understood the country much better. In the next year, we will host Parliamentary Assembly of the NATO, which is another opportunity to strengthen the links and cooperation between political groups and politicians. So I want to once again thank our hosts and reassure that in face of Georgian Parliament, you have very committed member of the community, which is trying to contribute to better Europe, better life for peace and for prosperity of our nations. And very last words, I want to be solidar to the people who are responsible on our technical issues. Let's express our solidarity to them. It's not their fault, and then they should not feel pressure. It happens. Thank you.